All right. And welcome back to What Do You Believe? All right. Welcome back to another episode of What Do You Believe? We're doing it live again, trying this new format out. Let me straighten this up. There we go. All right. So today's topic is about me leaving Los Angeles. I'm leaving. I've been here for 8 years. I got my doctorate in Los Angeles. It was tough. But now I feel like I graduated. I've learned all I needed to learn. I've met some amazing people while I've been here. But it's time to go. It's time to get out of this place. And I want to talk about why I'm leaving, because I've had so many friends here and from back home in North Carolina ask me, so why are you leaving? And the number one reason, without a doubt, is family. I miss my family so much. I know everybody's like, oh, you're not a big kid, you can't be away from your family. Well, yeah, I could totally, I could totally be away from my family, and I've been away for a very long time. But there's this thing called opportunity cost, and it's also considered, in my mind, sacrifice. And all this time that I'm spending here, I'm not spending with my family in North Carolina, and I'm missing out on some amazing moments in time, and all the good stuff. Because the most important thing to me personally is family, like without a doubt, like your family. And I know, like, I was extremely fortunate and blessed to be raised in a family that was extremely caring and supportive. But I know not everybody has had that same experience in their life. But if you are one of those people, I'd say just have faith that there are people out there, that good-hearted people that can become your family. There are people that aren't blood related to me, but I consider them my family without a doubt. There are people that I've met in Los Angeles since I've been here that I consider my family for the rest of my life. And yeah, you can always find family. Family doesn't necessarily mean that it's your blood relation, obviously, but my mom, dad, and my sisters and their children and my cousins and nieces and everybody, like, they're all back in North Carolina. So I feel like the time and everything that I'm doing here is not, it's not worth the money. Let's say to me personally, let's say tomorrow I had some exec call me and they're like, oh, we want to give you $2 million to work on this film. Trick is you have to stay in Los Angeles for the rest of your life, because that's going to be in your contract, because you're going to have to be close enough to a studio and to do events and all that kind of stuff. So you get all this money, but you have to stay in Los Angeles. And I would be able to go see my family more often because I'd have more money, but I'd still be here all the time. You're still missing out on stuff. And the older I get, the more I feel like that is the most important thing. And I should make sure I focus on that. Because if you don't focus on it, it's gone. And you missed it. And then, hey, you're just stuck there with regrets. And I would regret not spending time with my family more than say if I didn't book a role. And that's where I got, I've come down to, like, my logic and my thinking and in my heart. That's where it really comes from, is my heart. And also, since I've been here, I've learned how to create my own content. I originally moved here just being an actor and musician, but while I've been here, I've bought a camera, I've bought sound equipment, I've learned how to shoot, I've shot my own projects. I'll put a link later on to a video of a web series that I'm working on. It's like a conspiracy thing of I think what's going on in the world today. But I think people like it. It's great. I also am working on a YouTube channel called Beyond the Pavement, where I give local tours of trails. And one of my really, I guess, goals coming up now is to get a home base and travel all over the United States and go everywhere and get all the really cool trails and put them on YouTube for Beyond the Pavement. Because the idea behind Beyond the Pavement is to inspire people to get out of their house, get out into nature. I feel like people need nature. I've talked to so many folks that are like, I don't know about going out in nature. Like, I don't like bugs or snakes or all that kind of stuff. And I feel like you're really alienating yourself from truth, because there's so much truth in nature. There's so much beauty, and it brings calmness, and it relieves stress, and it's so good for you. And I feel like if just people just went outside more and got into breathing the fresh air, it would make this world a better place. You know what I mean? That's what I'm all about. So that's what Beyond Pavement's all about. I'm going to start doing more shows on more episodes of those. And also, what do you believe? I'm doing these podcasts to get a conversation going about uh, just what's going on in this world. I feel like there's so many misconceptions and assumptions of what people believe. And I feel that people really don't ask themselves personally what they believe, and really get down to the root of like your essential. Where did you come from? Like, do you have a spirit? Do you have a soul? Does that matter? All that kind of stuff. Like, what do you really believe? Because I feel like that motivates you to progress you in your life. And if people find like a belief system, and it doesn't necessarily have to be my particular belief system, but just to find some kind of solid ground they can stick their footing on, I think that would help too. I'm just trying to make projects to help people is the idea. I think that's what we all want to do. Internally, we all just want to help each other because we all need each other. We really do. So one couple other things. Another reason why I'm leaving is I feel like making all these shows is the future. I feel like YouTube and streaming, I feel that that's the next step in entertainment and education as well. Because there's so many channels and there's so many people on YouTube that were just freely giving you ideas and how to do things, how to clean your house for cheaper, how to cook for cheaper, how to improve your life. And they're just giving it to you for free. They're just sacrificing their life just to say, hey, if you want to learn something, here it is. And I feel like that's the future of technology and learning and humanity. I feel like we can all just learn from each other. And I watched amazing courses from Harvard and Cambridge on YouTube and learned from professors on YouTube, and didn't have to pay a thing. I pay for YouTube Red so I don't have to worry about commercials. I would recommend that because commercials are just zapping your life. I feel like they're just killing me. But I mean, we need products in our life to make everything go around. But the amount of advertisements is just way too much, I feel like. So YouTube Red's cool too. Let's see what else I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah. So let's say I didn't have any family in North Carolina. I still most likely would move from here, from Los Angeles. And I just want to talk about that a little bit as well, because I have a lot of friends that are still here. And I'm not like, I know they're quite aware of what's going on. But if there's somebody that is thinking about moving here, maybe you would want to listen to this so you get an idea of the situation in Los Angeles. And strictly just talking about cost of living. Right now, I live in a one-bedroom apartment for $1,000. I pay $999, and that is an extremely good deal here. And I maybe have like 600 square foot of space, which is a lot of room. I mean, in North Carolina, I can buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with like a half an acre of land for $200,000 or less than $200,000, which the mortgage would be as much money as I'm paying for rent, except I get to keep the equity of that home every time I pay that mortgage. But here, I goes to my landlord and she buys herself a new car, and then that's part of the game, and that's the game I've been playing. But I don't want to play that game anymore. So I'm going to one of my ideas is when I get back to North Carolina, I'm definitely going to buy a house, because the rent game is just crazy, especially here in California. If I wanted to move to another apartment right now, if I'm looking at a one bedroom, I'm looking at least $1,300 to $1,400 bare minimum. If you want a nice place, you're looking at like $2,200 a month for a very nice place. And oh my gosh, it's 2018, and I have to load up my laundry in my car, take it to the laundromat, spend like a whole day just on laundry instead of being able to purchase a washer and dryer and put it in my apartment. I can't do that because my place is so old. And also, uh, I have an agreement with my landlord that I can't put any washer and dryer because it uses a lot of water. And a lot of apartments in Los Angeles, you have the landlords pay for the water. So they would be like, oh, you can't use a dishwasher, you can't use a washing machine. So there's all these conveniences, these modern day conveniences that you will not be able to use just because of the age of your apartment, or you would have to pay an exorbitant amount of money to live in a place that was renovated. And the cost of just rent is staggering. And yes, there is more work here. I mean, there's a lot of work here. You can't go anywhere without seeing uh, a we need help here, or looking for help sign, or you can do Uber, all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's work here without a doubt. But I've gotten to a point where I feel like the time I'm spending to make that money isn't paying off for me after I pay rent. It's crazy. And it's the rent thing. It's just totally crazy. And gas and taxes. And I feel like it's getting more and more and more and more and more expensive every single year. And yes, they're building more apartments here, but those apartments are targeted toward like a higher middle class, lower upper class um, kind of income, because it's just even if you're making, all right, let's say they do take the minimum wage and make $15 an hour. It's still going to be hard to make a living in Los Angeles, even at $15 an hour. Like, I don't understand how people raise a family and pay for the insurance and buy a house and buy a car and do all these things and still live here. It's if you're doing that, bless your heart, bless your soul. You're like, God bless you. You're doing great. You're obviously working hard. And I feel like I can work that hard, but it still go toward, my life without paying the rent. That's what it all comes down to. This rent's killing me. But being here, I've learned so much. I've experienced so much. I've been on a national commercial. I was on Mad Men for like some featured background stuff. I've been featured back on a whole bunch of other stuff, and I mean, I can't I can't describe all the stuff that I've been through. I've been through so much immense, wonderful experiences while I've been here. But when it comes down to it, it's family first. You gotta say family first. So that's what's going on. That's why I'm leaving Los Angeles. And yeah, I hope this helped you out. If you're thinking about leaving Los Angeles, and if you're thinking about moving there, maybe it helps you out. And maybe if you're living here, it might make you want to think about, do I want to pay that rent every month forever now? I don't know. It's over for me. But anyways, thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope it helps out, and take it easy. And make sure you tune into the next episode of What Do You Believe? And I'll work on getting a PA so I can get these sound cues on. My internet's running slow now.
Tough in front of that has no business being